following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu Cha Jamii. My name is Betty. I am your host today and I am having gentlemen with me on studio. We are going to be talking about the entire month. We are focusing on entertainments, Kenyan movies and films and actors and authors. And these gentlemen here are yet to get into a discussion with us, and you're going to be talking about the TV life realities. You know, the actors are there, but they also have the real life on the side. We're going to be hearing more of that, but first let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Arabron Osanya Nyinek, and I am a performing artist.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much, thank you very much.
My name is Kiari Mwangi. I'm a one-time performing artist, Machachari TV series, and a friend of the industry, film and theatre.
Wow.
Or if I may say, sorry to interrupt, but Kiari says he's a one-time performing artist.
Yes.
Being a performing artist is like riding a bicycle. Once you're a performing artist, you're always a performing artist. You never forget. To you.
Wow. Performing, even comedies, performing.
Oh yes, oh yeah, comedy. Yeah, it's just a genre of performing.
It's fun to be in the midst of comedians because you always laugh, and you don't age, you don't grow old. And I don't ask gentlemen how old they are, because sometimes they say they don't grow old. I know.
You know, asking one their age is not a problem after all. Like they said, who sang that? Age is nothing but a number. So, I mean, there's no problem saying how old you are. You'd like to know how old I am? I'm 58 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
And I'm 50 years old.
Wow. Yeah. Good to have these gentlemen that have been there in that industry that long.
Yes.
I know you guys have been there for so long because of the programs you have done. And I'm glad that you are still there because you said once an artist.
Yes.
Always one.
Yes.
So we are doing part 2 of this.
Yeah.
And last time I hosted you guys and it was really fun hanging out with you.
Oh, thank you.
I liked the way Baba Almasi now is bringing in joy, and he's like, call me Baba Joy, whatever his reason are. But Jack, sorry. Now Jack is Alison's husband in Mother-in-Law series.
Yes.
But you have done Selena.
I was in Selena very recently for a very short time.
Yes. And you were doing a program in Netflix called?
Oh, it was a movie called 40 Sticks.
40 Sticks.
Yes.
Okay. So at least guys are familiar with, you know, the people who have been looking for mother-in-law and they're not finding Jack anymore. They can't find Machachari and Baba Almasi anymore. So at least they now get familiar with where you are and what you are doing. So today we are talking about the reality, you know, your real life and your life on the screen. There's the issue of, you know, how you people live at home.
Yes.
And how you appear on TV. And so people get so confused. You see, like I find myself calling you Jack all the time.
Yes.
And I'm like, you already said your name is Arabron, and I can't quite get it, you know? So I wonder what happens back at home when this is your daily life on the screen and back at home. How do you juggle between these two kinds of lives, that one is real and the other is not real?
All I can say on my part is it's not easy.
Okay.
You see, it's not easy. Now, let's take, for example, a series. I'm going to use Selena as an example, okay? Even though I was only there for a short time.
Okay.
Now, what happens is, like Selena, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're in season 6 or something. You know, by the time you have been doing a character for 6 years, when you leave the set and you go home, now even you as the person, you also start getting confused as to which is the acting character and which is your real character, because you've been the other character for so long, you know. So sometimes you might find yourself slipping into your acting character
So
by
it's
mistake without
you
realizing what you're
also
doing.
get confused, not the people looking at you.
See, the people who are observing me
Yes.
are getting confused because the character I am portraying keeps on fluctuating.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Oh, we were used to dad behaving like this. Why is he behaving like this other way today? And maybe dad doesn't realize that that's what he's doing. It's just that the subconscious of the character he's playing seems to have just
Effect.
taken over. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, just to add to that, perhaps it's also the kind of role you're given. I was given Mr. Koto, Baba Almasi, and the role I was playing was basically a rich, arrogant, ignorant, very business-oriented guy.
Not too far from real life, yeah. Okay. Okay, no, I'm not. Sorry.
Not to get you in it, but so on set and on our rehearsals on the 2 years I was there, so this character that I was playing as Mr. Koto, the rich guy, the Mercedes guy, the guy who does not have a lot of time for his children, the guy whose relationship with the wife is on off because the guy is too busy biashara. So that character, unfortunately, when you get off screen, you subconsciously also want to be that because at times when you are back days I used to have a drink occasionally and I could go to a pub and I could forget I'm actually now offset and try to bulldoze around the people around me simply because I had my way.
And that time you have not parked the Mercedes outside.
No. But I'm seeing some keys.
You know, offset when you have parked that Mercedes outside,
Yes.
you can still bulldoze and it's fine.
Yes.
But on set, the Mercedes is there and this life is there. But now outside, you know, you have, those things are not real.
Yes.
You know?
So as you said correctly, at times it can even confuse you because don't forget, and we said it last week, at times when you're offset, you're on the streets, you're walking, someone, instead of calling me Kiari, calls me Akoto. So I hesitate to turn because I'm walking, I'm offset. So, but then they shout, Baba Mercy. Yeah, yes. So when I turn, then I'm forced now to get my character to Baba Mercy because so that I don't look like I'm ignoring that person. At times it can get a bit crazy. Like, for example, when it's my wife is having a conversation with me, and the way she's having a normal conversation, but me, I'm looking at her and I'm seeing Mama Almasi on set. Because perhaps Mama Almasi on set is nagging and harassing my life on set. But then here in off whatever, I'm looking at her, I'm on, sorry. Sorry, that's my wife, thank you.
Yes, so that confusion, Jack, Arabron, how do you balance, how do you manage to now tell yourself, you know, this is, I'm at work, I'm at home. This is Alison, and this is my wife.
Wow. Ow. Okay, now you see the way you have phrased it is. Let me use an example, if I may. I once did a stage play called Caligula. Caligula was the third of the 12 Roman emperors. And it is said he was the worst of the worst of the worst. And I must admit, when I played that character of Caligula, I really did my best to try and get his real character. I went into encyclopedias, I read history, I did everything I could to research on Caligula. Now, I must admit, there was a time I was at home. This is during rehearsals. We've not even started performing yet. In my life, my wife looked at me. She had this expression on her face. And she asked me, why are you behaving like that? And I was in shock. I was like, what have I done?
Strange.
And then she explained to me, I can't remember exactly what it was. And she told me, but you just did. And then, really? I said, oh, I'm sorry. That came from Caligula. You see, so like I'm trying to say, it's difficult sometimes to separate yourself from the character you're playing. This is a stage play. You really do need to stay in character until the whole play is over. You're going to do very many different performances, you have to hold the character. For TV or film, in film you shoot for what, 8 months? You have to hold your character for 8 months. But at the same time, you still have to be yourself. You understand? There'll be a period of time somewhere in there where you keep going back into the character you're acting by mistake. So yeah, that's what I can say. Now on my part, because that's what you asked, how do I handle the... I personally, this is what I try to do, but having learned over time, okay? It's not like I started from the very beginning. These days, what I do is, if it is TV or it is film, they say, cut, that's a wrap. Oh, that's a wrap. As I am taking off my wardrobe, as far as I'm concerned, I'm shedding my character. So by the time I've dressed into my home clothes, I am back to myself. That's the way I've developed it over the years. About others, I don't know. I'm not telling you my system works, because you'd have to talk to the others, but that's how I try, yes, yeah.
I wonder how that goes with your families, because if you have children, Kyrie, then you have left Almasi and Joy at the studio, and now you have come to your own children. Remember, you were the rich dude and who has these spoiled kids, maybe, and now your kids are here and reality dawns, you know. Don't they ever ask you like, but you didn't do this to Almasi and Joy, and you're doing this? Do they have expectations on you on the same?
Yes, they do.
Being kids.
Yes, they do, because one, remember, even within the community and society, they're also out there. And when they're out there, the people, they're asking them, hey, I saw your dad on telly, and your dad was like this and like this. Then she goes like, no, but at home, he's like this and like this. So, you see, so partly it also confuses the kids a bit, because they want their daddy to be daddy. But then the daddy on TV is, and depending on the roles you play. I think Arabron played a role at Connor, the books, Connor, that was a very tough guy, a very bad guy, a bad guy role. So, well, so I'd also like to hear from him here how that very bad role he played in that film like Connor translated to his children back home. Because at times when you play such bad roles, so to speak, your children tend to also get confused about, I mean, I thought daddy was warm, daddy was, was like this. So it does get confusing.
It does. So your kids get influenced, and they also have expectations. When they see, imagine when they see you carry, expensive crepes, and you're buying all this for Joy, and then back home, I mean, you have carried nothing.
Yeah.
And you were like, it is fine, I will buy you at the end of the month. They feel like
I mean, or even
you
encourage
have two
them.
dads.
I mean, or even encouraging them, because now in real life, you encourage your children to play with everybody, to make friends with everybody, to respect everybody. But on set, now like in my case those days, Baba Almasi Akoto was this guy who lived in an affluent neighborhood, who did not want anything to do with Baha and the ghetto.
He wanted nothing to do with poor people
Poor
at
people,
all.
ghetto. And so much so, I didn't also want my children to have any connect. So on set, for example, when Joy and Almasi would steal food to go and give
The poor kids.
the poor kids, I got confused on set, because I was wondering, you shouldn't. There's an umbilical cord. We are rich, they are poor. Now, back home. now, how do you reconcile that when your own children, they're asking you, hey, but Papa, you said sharing, that's what God loves, God encourages. But when you saw you on TV, Papa, you are angry.
And you said this.
And you said this.
Jack, Alison and your wife, this is where I'm still on.
Yes.
There are times when people are acting and training and doing practices, they have to get away, away from home. And they have to practice to perfection so that when we eventually see it, we appreciate what we see.
Right.
And sometimes there are love scenes in acting, where there's involved a husband and wife or a boyfriend and girlfriend, and we see love scenes practiced on television. And then when you go back home, like you are relating and even kissing someone on TV,
Yes.
how do you go back home and explain? And you have not done it once or in one day, but this is like 6 months, a whole year, like we have seen all the time. I mean, how do you reconcile that when you get back home?
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, when you get to the house and you get to the front door, duck, so that the sufuria passes over you, okay? And doesn't hit you in the face, okay? That's the first thing. Once the sufuria has passed, you go, hi, honey, I'm home. Okay. Look, this is something that's actually extremely difficult, okay? Now,
I'm glad you said you have learned over time. So I'm already imagining the beginnings.
oh, the beginnings. I mean, I can give you a practical one if you like. I was sitting with my wife watching, there was a time there were these things called Amof movies, short 1-hour television movies. And yes, I did a character, and he actually falls for this lady. He's a judge, but he falls for a lady who, Mama Mboga, if you can say. So there reached a point where, when she did agree to his advances, of course, he kissed her. I mean, it was just a small peck, not what you'd call a kiss. But
Just a peck.
yeah, so I turned to, she was actually on this side, you know, so I turned to see her reaction and met with a slap. You know, okay, a slap. Okay. You know, you look back at the TV and you just continue watching like nothing happened, you know. And you think to yourself, I'll explain what happened. You see, it's hard to say for sure exactly what do you do, what don't you do. You know, you just have to deal with the person each particular different day or each particular different occasion, you see? Now, that's the wife. The children, do you know what it feels like for the children to see their father kissing somebody else who is not their mother? They don't like that at all. So, once again, you've got to get the children, you have to sit them down, you've got to explain to them, listen, kids, whatever you saw, that's not real, that was just acting, okay? I love your mother, that's if you do. I don't know if every husband loves his wife, or he must, otherwise he wouldn't have married her, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, okay, that's not what we're discussing right now. But you know, you tell your children, okay, you know, I still love mom, you know, and it's not that anything, you know, and it takes time for them to accept. It really takes time for them to accept it. You understand? But over time, if you do deal with it, I don't know, I want to say properly, and you know, properly depends from family to family. But if you deal with it properly, yes, the children will come to understand that when he's at home, he's daddy, and whatever he's doing there is work. It's, yeah, ni kama kazi, yes, let's put it that way, yes.
I wonder how long it takes to actually convince, because when you're kissing, you're not kissing on paper.
But
Okay, if I may, the truth of the matter is, there are techniques you can use for it to look like the two of you are kissing, when in actual fact you are not.
Okay.
Okay? Now, it is up to the actors or the director or the production itself to decide what you want to do. Do you want to do it for real, or do you want to use the technique? So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Yes.
But I think I would also want to be the devil's advocate here and just be a bit more modest about it. Emotions are emotions, and because I've been caught up, in well, it didn't get on air, but there's this.
Yes, tell us more.
Yes, yes. So what happens is, you're with this person, and part of the scenes, of course, are a bit romantic. Part of them are the usual husband and wife quarrels and all. But now the truth is, and we discussed last week, you have to be in that space of character for you to portray both emotions: anger, disgust, love, friendship. And the truth of the matter is, this person also, you become emotionally connected. That one may be the devil's advocate. I will say now,
And I wonder how you can actually escape that. You know, if you are acting for a whole year,
Yes.
how can you escape the emotions build up?
If I may, you need to speak to the main actors of the program, Selena. Selena herself and the gentleman who acts, Nelson. They are romantically intertwined in the show, right? They really love each other, right? Offset. I don't know how they deal with it. The moment those two get offset, one goes that way, the other one goes that way. They do not continue the emotion from the set into real life. Now that, at the same time, also is a responsibility for an actor, because there's some actors who don't disconnect. You understand?
Yes, yes.
So what happens is you're offset, but that feeling from the character
discipline.
that, oh, I love this person, it doesn't go away. So you find somebody later on, you know, even offset, it was like, oh, no, sorry, it's not mine. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being ridiculous now. I'm sorry. But you see, like I say, it would be nice to speak to the two of them, because that is one thing that really impressed me about Selena, okay? That these two characters, though being in love on the show, off the show, good, okay, fine. We know each other, we're two actors, we respect each other.
See you on the show again.
Yeah, see you on the show again. That's the way it goes, and it really impressed me, you see? But I think we said this last week, even in Hollywood. I mean, you are acting a movie. You are with a female character, let's say like yourself. After all, you are attractive, you know? So,
Thank you.
okay, let me try and do this, because I'm not a psychologist, okay? But you see, in real life, I meet you, I see you, but I don't really look at you. Same thing with other people. You meet them, you'll see them, but you don't really look at them. Once you start acting with somebody, you see them. Because you have to, you have no choice. In fact, you may even see this actor even more than you see your wife. Because now you're looking at this person, you're looking for, okay, as I say, and then you start to notice certain things like, oh, wow, she's got nice eyebrows. Now you're not noticing the character, you are noticing
The
the
person.
person.
Yes.
And as time goes by, you notice other things because you're actually looking now. You understand?
Yeah.
Once you start looking and you see something physically that you like, or you're already drawn. After that, then you start noticing certain characteristics about the real person that you start getting attracted to outside of the character. I really don't know what to say about this thing. It is something very psychological. It is difficult for the actors. It is difficult for the actors' families. There's no solution. It's just something that comes with being a performing artist.
I wish your spouses were here. They would tell me how they.
No, I'm never bringing my wife to the studio. Sorry.
They meet with that world.
They would be best placed to answer
No, just no.
exactly.
Excuse me. I have a wife at home. Her name is Jacqueline. I love my wife. We have 6 children. She's not coming to the studio.
Let's talk about what happens to the viewer
Yeah.
when they view what you do. Some of them literally want to go and practice. You know, when people watch wrestling, they're usually told, don't try this at home.
Right, yes.
But what you act is reality. Like what you show people in the films and in the TV stations, that is reality of life. That is
Yes,
how life is.
Yes.
And you're actually just showing, you've just copy-pasted what happens and shown it to people. You know, someone like me who sits back and views and wonders, wow, that is how a wife should be treated. That is how a dad should behave. Now, that is a nice guy. That is a cool husband, you know. Then now I'm supposed to compare. And, you know, I like the scenario and example that you gave, that your wife was there. You know, it got into her. This is my husband
Yes.
kissing another wife.
Yes.
Hell out of you, you know.
Yes.
So me who is watching, I imagine that your spouse is there and she's reacting that way. How about me who is not receiving the love, who is not receiving the care, the children who are not receiving all these things, the goodies that the dad is bringing, how are they supposed to take it, because it actually gets into them too?
Would you like to take that one?
Partly, yes.
Okay, you start.
Yes, yes, let me start. One, I think for the viewer here, because the viewer connects with the characters they love on either TV, either film, even theater.
Yes.
In fact, some of the people in this, when you do the docus or even the Hollywood, part of the selling point is the character who is in those movies. There are ladies who can tell you they watch everything about Denzel Washington. ask them why, they say, no, I don't mind about his character, he's just handsome. Okay. So to them, that's what sells to them. So for the viewer, that becomes a connecting point. I've got a case in point here. There's a matatu for Rongai, number 125. That matatu is called Money Heist. Like and the professor, the series, the Money Heist that was been there. Indeed, the driver and the conductor, they dress in those wardrobes of the series. So now those are viewers. They have not only internalized, but then they have taken up that
They've made it a lifestyle.
of it. There are people who tell you, you walk like Angelina Jones. Okay, then you okay, so then how does Angelina Jones walk? You see, but then, so that statement means what? They have not only internalized the character, but then there's something in that character they would like to emulate. And it goes there back to family and relations. There are people who watch particular genres, like these family movies and all, and the reason they watch is that in their heart of hearts, or even some, they would like to have that in their family. They would like to embrace that. One of the all-time sitcoms was called Seventh Heaven. It used to come back way back. And Seventh Heaven.
People were still young.
Sorry, no comment, moving on. So that sitcom had some positive effects on some family. There was something about family unity and all. Around that time, there was another sitcom called Melrose Place.
No. When you said seventh whatever, sitcom. Melrose Place was a series.
Was a series.
Yes.
Okay, no, a series called Melrose Place. Everything about Melrose Place was what Arabron is trying to smile, had not to smile about now. It was more about, yeah, thank you. So Melrose Place was basically what the lifestyle of Nairobi, or these flats, living in flats is. You've got 3 ladies, they live in 3 different flats, they've got boyfriends, they're cheating, all those, the shenanigans, their fights. And not so far from this place where we are now, there's a place called Melrose Place, around this corner, right now where we are.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So that is where I'm getting to.
That's how it affects the
So,
society.
so the viewer and the society and the viewer get intertwined.
Okay. Arabron.
Okay, this is what I would say. I'm going to take it from a performing perspective.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what I teach when I'm teaching actors or performers as a whole. When you are performing for one person. Doesn't matter whether 1 million people are watching, but you perform for only one person. And it doesn't matter who that person is, okay? Whether it's your wife, your daughter, your mpango wakando, your whoever, okay? So long as whatever you are portraying to that one person. Now, unfortunately, Kenyans have this habit of when somebody's giving them a statement, they're like, oh, okay. And they don't ask you why. Okay, so I'll ask it. Why? Because even in real life, whenever you are, even if you're talking to a group of people, when you're addressing this group of people, you will address one person.
Yes.
Okay? You'll not address the entire group. Why? It's almost like you are connecting with the person who you feel either most understands you or is most likely to agree with you or something like that. Okay? The other people are now reacting. What she's saying is nonsense. Hey, kabisa, you understand? You cannot control how anybody else will feel about you. So when you are performing, you perform for one person so that each person, even if they're 1 million, gets you individually. Each person individually of that 1 million is just getting you as you. And whatever reaction they have to you, that's it, based on your character that you're playing. Some will like you, some will love you, some will hate you, some will wish you were dead. You understand? In real life, I'm not talking about act. No, in real life, you cannot determine how people will feel towards you. So even in performing arts, you do it for one person only because that is what life is about. You understand? Even if you have 6 children, when you're dealing with one child, you're dealing with. Even if 3 children come to you at the same time, you're like, wewe unataka? Okay, na wewe? Na wewe? Okay. Sasa you see, you'll always deal with one person at a time.
Yes.
And that is how every viewer, every single member of the audience should get you. individually. You understand? Yes. So, what were we talking about again?
The effects, how that now affects the society.
Now, see, because you are doing this so individually, in two ways. You are doing it individually that way.
Yes.
You're also doing it individually. It is me who is acting this role, not us. You understand? So whatever character you have will affect the person who is watching you as per their own character. Same thing I was saying before. Everyone will take you individually. You understand? What happens is, take for example, somebody will meet me in the street. And someone will say, oh, by the way, I just love it the way, you know. Another one will come and ask me, mbona humkatazi ndugu yako kunywa?
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Now, this is me in real life. It's like, I mean, what do you say? I mean, what do I tell them? Because, first of all, the character only drinks in the character. That guy has never put alcohol to his mouth, first of all. You understand? So what do? You start telling this guy, oh, by the way, you know, the real guy doesn't actually drink. No, this guy is reacting to Charlie as an individual. You understand? So does this person, like, I've met people who are drunkards themselves, sorry, whoever you are, who are drunkards themselves. And so they support him. It's like, hey, ndugu yako! And another one, and many of the ladies are like, no. Your brother cannot continue drinking like that. I mean, what's going to happen? What can you do? These people will get you individually. How somebody will react to you depends on they themselves. Okay? I'd like to, I know I've talked too much, but there's something Carrie mentioned here, Kona, and the character I played in Kona. Now, you're talking about the viewer, right? How does the viewer react?
Yes.
How do your children react? How does your wife react? What about the actor who's acting across from you? How does he react? Because that person is coming across you also. Now, like he said, the character I was playing, his name is Abasi. Terrible human being. Terrible human being. Even I will tell you that, okay? So one day, here's this young man. Yeah, you know, of course, you start from somewhere. This was his opportunity now to, I know what I'm doing. So what we do, we'd go over the scenes in the morning. I'm in my home clothes. I've got my mug of tea on set. You never take food and drinks on set. So here I have my mug of tea on set, and I'm sipping it as we rehearse. And the director told him, young man, I really need to warn you ahead of time. Do you see the way he is now? He's relaxed, he's himself. Once he puts on his wardrobe and he gets his character, please understand, he will not be like this. He's going to be a lot worse. The young man was like, okay, no problem. So now came our time, and we do a rehearsal take first, you know, for the technical, everybody to know where you should be needing. So we do this technical take, and I'm really getting on his case, eating into this guy, but very calmly. Abasi was somebody, he would threaten you very calmly, but it would chill your blood would go cold. So there reaches a point where I tell him, now get out of my office. Do you know the young man forgot that there's a door on the set? See, there's a technical area here. That guy just disappeared through the technical area. Now, that is the effect I had in my character on that fellow. Not in his character, as him himself. Do you know we went to get him outside? No, outside the studio. Man, you have to go to a studio door, open it, big, huge studio, and we found him outside. And he's being told, no, young man, come back. You haven't finished. He was like, no.
So then you can actually imagine. You know, you can now imagine how much that goes into the ordinary person who is watching this.
I will just add to what Arabron.
They actually want to practice it. They want to try it out and see.
They actually also want. My case was very simple. I think I mentioned last week, I mentioned briefly, supermarket. I'm in a queue. I'm on checkout. The lady who is checking me out at the supermarket, I'm holding my trolley. She's lecturing me about my inability to take care of Joy and Almasi, and how I'm such a bad daddy, and you should love your wife more. In 10 minutes, I tell you, she had made a queue. She had made a backline queue, and 6 people ahead of me, they were now watching me. The focus was on me. In 3 minutes, I was described as bad. I was described as non-caring. I was non-loving to my wife. So those people who perhaps viewed me there, even those who did not know that I am Babal Masi, that and pull in the trolley and whatever, suddenly they said, yeah, but now when you, I mean, how do you treat your wife like that? I mean, no, so I think you are right on that when you say it cuts across many different people.
You know, when you watch a robbery movie, for example, there are people who follow the steps and they go and execute the same, you know?
Yes.
That's what people do. And when you watch like a film like that, and even a TV show like that, you know, that's what people want to practice. That's what people want to feel at home, you know? When people are watching Mother-in-Law,
Yes,
they're
yes,
like,
yeah.
oh, this mother, you
This
know,
Yes,
this is
yes, yes,
how,
yeah.
this mother, no, she's so unbearable.
Right.
I can't live with her. And there are people also who want to practice. I'll try and see if I can be this mother-in-law.
There was a case in January where a young man in Kiambu killed his family. His case is now in court. I think, and part of the reason
Don't
he
tell
said,
me he's so
no, part of what he said was he watched a certain movie.
yes,
certain movie. Like there's a gentleman who
Yes,
killed
yes, yes.
So I'm just correlating to what you're saying. So for whatever it is about that movie he saw that made him commit a gruesome murder, you know, because even when he was picked, and he looked calm and relaxed. I'm just trying to add to that and say,
I'm thinking about those effects.
it's an
to
effect
the
by itself.
society.
Okay. Once again, I'm not a psychologist, but I would like to take the example of like these children. It happens in the United States where some young man gets a gun, 16, 17 years old, comes, shoots up people in school, and people wonder, why did he do that? Okay, now this is just my opinion. He did it because he plays PlayStation too often. In PlayStation, you kill people, then they get up again. Okay? And you do it again, and they get up again. And you see? So this kid goes, gets a real gun with real ammunition, shoots all the students, and thinks that when he does this with the gun,
He's
Get
good.
up.
They're
they're
going
going
to
to
do
get
it.
up again, but then they don't because it's real life. You understand? Same thing with the movies and TV, really. It's very difficult to get the viewer to be able to disconnect reality and fiction. It is only the actor who knows where the fiction ends and the reality begins. Now, you were talking about, okay, I don't like mentioning this, but you were talking about people seeing something and then doing what they saw. You know, there's something called radio theater.
Yes.
Sauti peke yake. You only hear these people's voices and some sound effects. Now, many years back when there was still radio theater at English service of VOK, KBC, sisi wengine tulianza na VOK. You see, there was somebody who brought a script. Now, it was about a bank robbery. And this bank robbery happened in a particular way. Now, I would like to think and hope that we, the actors, portrayed it so realistically that a little while later, a robbery was actually committed where a bank was robbed using the exact same sequence as our radio theater. So it happens. People see something, they realize, oh, that can actually happen, and they do it.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Do you need to get someone to go back after all this and say, don't try this at home?
It's very difficult to tell somebody who's seen. You see, the thing is, how do you tell somebody, don't try this at home, and it's a portrayal of the reality of life? So you're telling somebody, okay, here, I'm showing you the reality of life, but then again, don't go do it at home, okay? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? But you said it's the reality of life, so why wouldn't I? I don't know if you understand where the confusion, the contradiction comes in. You can't tell people don't do this at home.
I do understand that it's so difficult to hold back and not to try, especially if it is something you have aspired to do.
Yes.
You know? But then how do we solve or deal with such effects?
No, that one.
That's a bit difficult because
Wow, that one is beyond me, to be very honest.
That's difficult. But I think one of the key areas that Arabron mentioned here is about, let's say, the radio theater, and aligned to it also the drama. You know, even I think it was also on VOK and also TV. There used to be drama, drama, the school set books, drama. I think also when we start also bringing in more people from an early age and normalize the whole drama and acting early, I think that would be, I would say, part of a solution. Because to me, I'm also thinking there has been also a disconnect. What you mentioned about the PlayStations and all, it's a vacuum, it's a gap that has been stepped in where many years back, we used to listen to the radio theaters, we used to have dramas, we used to have reenactment of
That we don't have
textbooks
now.
that now we don't have.
Yeah.
Then we also used to have what was called a reading culture. Reading culture, nini.
No, not this
You
for
don't-
read
yeah.
for exams.
Yeah,
If you don't have exams,
yeah,
you don't
so,
have a
so novels, and just even reading novels, just reading culture. A reading culture, where you could just get a novel, you sit in those Akamba buses. This guy is old enough to go to Kisumu and used to read those novels on his way, on the 8-hour trip from Nairobi to Kisumu back then, and used to read a novel. I think
Yes,
we need to
that
get to
used to
that.
happen.
Yeah, so I think we need to also get back to those days of those culture, those small cultures. I think, in my opinion, they also used to help a bit.
We need
Radio
to
theaters,
get back and cultivate them.
yeah, and then also, and we mentioned last week, school drama festivals, school drama. I know nowadays we are more academia, more curricular oriented, more exam passing, but I think it also played a part. It also created that, you know, that as Arabon said, the fiction and the reality and whatever, because
It singled out
it's
talent,
talent,
and,
and you say,
and passion and all that.
yeah, so the
That
passion,
was a very
so
good
the
thing.
reality versus the fiction. Those school drama festivals, the music festivals, and last but not least, performing theater.
Performing theater.
Theater. See, on stage theater. I think it also built elements of discipline, time management, concentration, attention to detail. Those small elements in growing youth, which now are translated.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe
yeah.
how time flies.
Oh, time has flown, eh?
Imagine.
Ilienda na Kenya Airways? Okay. Okay.
But
Yes.
before we get out of here, you're parting shots. And I'm thinking about the small children. Looking at our topic of discussion today, you know, the children may not be able to separate and distinguish that this was theater and this was home because they are still fighting with peer pressure. The way I presented myself on stage, I need to show this to my peers. When I'm in class, they need to know that I am still that guy, that student who is like this. I was excelling there, I must still excel here. Because otherwise, I imagine their self-esteem, if they have to be these students in class, and they're so famous, the whole country knows about them. You know, that is reality versus fiction, who they really are and what they have to show up while on stage. You know, it's a big challenge, and I will still get back to agree with you guys that there is much need for a counseling psychologist for the performing artists.
Completely.
You know,
True.
even in your financials, the way you get a boom and quickly you want to get a Mercedes and you have no way of maintenance just to show the public. And so when you quit acting, my friend, we are seeing you all over in social media the way you're broke, and it's not fun at all. Yes.
True.
I will take your parting shots.
Okay, let me start because the guru is here.
Yes.
He'll be the last. No, my parting shot is one, we are in the COVID-19 pandemic session, and a lot of the messaging and the narrative around the pandemic and what we need to do has been targeted at the older people, the older generation. The youth and the people, there's a space for performing arts now to either come up with social messaging, spoken word, or what would drive the art industry towards the COVID-19 situation, because that is where we are at the moment. It's a pandemic, and the soft messaging around it. That would also give a small chance for the industry to come up. Number two, the government. Performing arts, youth engagement is in 5 ways. sports, music, drama, and fashion. And which one have I left out, Rabron? Sorry, let me repeat. Sports, sports, drama, music, and fashion. Therefore, those are the touch points of the youth.
Drama.
And fashion. You see, like now, you see now he's a loose mabele. You see, and I'm going to tell you this
I
after
have
the
no
show.
idea who that is. I don't copy people,
And
man.
I'm going
Me,
to
I'm
tell you
original,
soon.
man.
Yeah, so
One and only.
yeah. So for the government here, the art end. Nowadays we have with the technology, the TikTok, the Snapchat, the Instagram, we have a lot of social messaging. I think to me that would be a good platform for the growing youth. Thank you.
I don't know what my parting shot could possibly be, but really to help the young people understand the difference between performing and reality. Yeah, like Kerry mentioned, which was also part of our curriculum, have a lot of these performances that happen from a very young age, okay? Because even if people are in performance from a young age but don't end up in it later on in life, it does give them a broader perspective on life and certain other aspects of life. But right now, let me just tell you the truth. The connection for anybody, the actor, the viewer, between reality and fiction, what is being acted, what is really true, it's a very thin line. There is, the way they say there's a very thin line between love and hate, there's a very, very even thinner line between reality and performance. So we just have to be careful about it. There's really nothing we can say specifically can be done. Nope, it's just something we have to be careful about.
And it also depends on the actor himself or herself, on the decisions they make when it comes to that.
Yes, yes, when it
Yes.
comes to their personal lives. Yes, yes, yes.
Like
yes,
I like
yes,
what you mentioned about Selena and Nelson. On set, there's so much in love, but
Yes.
outside,
It's
the
right,
two
right,
worlds
right,
apart.
yeah.
Wow, that is excellent, gentlemen. I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate. Because of what Arabron does, he'll do us the honors today before we say goodbye.
What
to
do I do?
our
I'm a
viewers.
parent. Is that what I do?
Yes, whatever you do.
No, you have to clarify. No, I'm not, I do many things. I walk, I talk.
Yes, you
Yes,
talk.
yes.
Voice, you do voiceovers?
Well, yeah, one here, one there, one or two, yes.
Very pretending, very humble, very moja moja, very honor. Very
Okay, I
off-putting.
was given some papers here. Now, I was asked to deliver these messages in a voiceover tone. It's a bit difficult, you know. This is also performing arts, you know. It takes a different type of energy, a different type of concentration, but I will try. Right. Voiceover. GBS TV Africa, home of great family entertainment. You are never in doubt. GBS TV has your back. GBS TV has your back. It depends on the delivery, how you want it. Okay, I was given another one. Thankfully, there aren't many pieces of paper coming, but here we go. Welcome to GBS TV, the mirror of the society, the platform for change. Your voice. Your voice. See, like I say, once again, depends on how you want it delivered, but yes, I do one or two voiceovers here and there, but not many, yeah.
Wow, wow, excellent.
Those one or two, they're 50. Yeah, moving on.
Actually, one or two, if you know how to count. One, then two. Yep.
We know the way you like taking a back seat, and that's our
Yeah,
pleasure.
that's okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arabron
Most welcome.
and Kiari, for coming to our studios today.
Asante.
It was a pleasure hosting you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you also, viewer, for watching us, and especially that you were entertained by these guys. I am so happy that you were there watching us. See you next time. My name is Betty. I have been your host.